flair, but beneath the cowl, the scowl, and the stare is an unbeaten and rapidly improving fighter who has risen from the mean streets of Brooklyn to assume a spot on the ladder of contenders. This is the Rahway State Penitentiary, for a decade unfriendly confines, but now that he's been released, he's looking to make up for lost time. And once beaten, Art Tucker. We will join Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, and Dan Jiggets at ringside when CBS Sports Sunday continues.
In Atlantic City, New Jersey, as we see Harrah's Marina Hotel and Casino in the background, the site today of an important 10-round heavyweight bout between once beaten Art Tucker and undefeated Olympic silver medalist Riddick Bowe. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy here at ringside as we await this important heavyweight bout. And Gil, obviously, you've got two guys who've had almost the same number of professional fights, but Riddick Bowe, just 22 years of age, the better known of the two, against 33-year-old Art Tucker. How do you see this one?
Well, Tucker's fought much tougher opposition, Tim. He's the experienced guy in this fight.
And in terms of the importance of the bout, for Riddick Bowe or Art Tucker, either one could launch themselves into the top 10.
That's right, Tim, but at 33 years of old, this is a must fight for Art Tucker. He must win or he's on his way to oblivion. Riddick Bowe's only 22. If he loses, he can chalk it up to experience and start again.
Riddick Bowe, as we mentioned, the much better known of the two fighters, a young man who's had a very outstanding and successful amateur career. For Art Tucker, on the other hand, it's been a long, hard path. Even by the harsh standards of this sport, it's been an extraordinarily tough path to contender status. For more on that, here's our reporter, Dan Jiggets.
Thank you, Tim. I'm standing outside Art Tucker's locker room. And, you know, Art grew up on the mean streets of Newark to get out and better his life. But, you know, really, boxing was not the way he got started. It was basketball.
15 years ago, Art Tucker might have been one of these young men playing ball here in Branch Brook Park in Newark. A standout basketball player in high school, Tucker had scholarship offers from Seton Hall and Ohio State. Instead, Art grew up to become a professional boxer. But it really wasn't that simple. Tucker never did make it to college. When three of his friends were cheated in a drug deal, he went along to help get their money back. The two dealers were driven to that same park in Newark, and while Tucker stayed in the car, his friends took the dealers into the park and shot them, killing one. Tucker turned himself in, refused to testify against his friends, and was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life.
This is Wing 3 of the East Jersey State Prison in Rahway. And for most of those who end up here, it is the end of the line. But for one inmate, it was a beginning. Art Tucker is one of the few who allowed the system to work for him.
Probably if I went through what I went through, I'd probably been dead, strung out on drugs, on AIDS, or something that would have been a terrible way to go. And so I think that was God's way of waking me up and made me go through what I go through to be what I am now. And, you know, as hard as it was, I'm glad I went through what I went through, because I have a chance to be somebody now, and I got a second chance on life. And many of us don't get a second chance on life.
Tucker's second chance came through the boxing program in prison. Here at Rahway, the inmates are allowed to train 2 hours a day. The prisoners train each other and run their own boxing team with an organization as good as any club on the outside. And there was a time when the boxing world came inside to Rahway. Under a New Jersey state program, fighters were allowed to turn pro while still serving time. Professional fights were held at the prison, and many featured inmate James Scott, here facing former inmate Dwight Braxton, now Dwight Mohammed Kwawi. Though the pro program at Rahway was discontinued in 1981, inmates are still boxing, fighting for release, for discipline, and for a chance to get out.
We would rather have an inmate punching a heavy bag or punching somebody else with a big pair of gloves on or headgear than be punching out the officers that work in here.
We give them the ideology of setting goals for themselves, not just to fit just boxing in the gym, but to set goals for themselves out in the population and eventually make it to the parole board.
Art Tucker fought 2 fights as a pro while in Rahway, gaining a win, a draw, and the biggest prize, his parole and release in 1987.
You're locked up for 12 years and they tell you you're going free. You don't believe it. And then when you get outside, I mean, after 12 years being locked up in a prison, it's a new world out there. It's a real world.
And Arthur's doing just fine in the real world. With the advantage of age and experience over most of his opponents, Tucker is making up for the 12 years he lost to prison, and he's not ready to be stopped again.
Everybody in prison remember me dreaming, because they all say, man, that man's crazy. But I dream. Crazy man dreams come true.
Well, the people in prison no longer think Art's crazy. As a matter of fact, they want to pass along this special message to him, that they take a little bit of him when they go into the ring. Okay, Tim, back to you.
Holmes to the heavyweight crown sees a lot in Bowe.
He has the potential to become the best heavyweight I've ever trained. And I've had some good heavyweights.
And for today's match with Art Tucker, Bowe's strategy is a simple one.
To hit hard on the chin and he'll go to sleep.
There's Riddick Bowe. You can see he is a fun guy, as you can tell in that interview. He's got a lot of confidence, but he has to translate it into victory as he steps up in class here today against once-beaten Art Tucker on road he hopes into the top 10 and perhaps within the next year or two a shot at a heavyweight title. And we'll return to Atlantic City after this word from your local stations.
He tipped in at an even 225 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 17 professional bouts with 15 knockouts. The 1988 Olympic silver medalist in a super heavyweight division from Brooklyn, New York. Boxing fans, here is Riddick Bowe.
Okay, come close here. Gentlemen, you received your instructions. Therefore, I expect you to listen to all my commands, and I expect a clean, professional fight. This time, have any questions? Okay, touch gloves. Good luck with back to your corner.
Referee Tony Orlando with the final instructions, and there the tail of the tape with Bowe coming in at 225, Tucker at 217. He feels is an optimum age for him, and even though his age is listed at 31, it is generally accepted by those who have done the investigations that he is actually 33 years of age. Officially, the publicity releases have him at 31.
Yeah,
so we're ready for round number one.
Inspector Clouseau found out that he was 33 years of age.
That's right. The judges are Frank Brunette from Rahway, New Jersey, Rocky Castellani from Atlantic City, and Richard Strange from Bricktown, New Jersey.
Tucker starts out with a real fast 1-2, Tim. Means business.
Tucker in red, Riddick Bowe in white. Both of them with their families in attendance here today, and a lot of supporters, obviously, with Tucker here from Newark, New Jersey, his nearby hometown, and Riddick Bowe not too far away, Brooklyn, New York.
Two big guys, Tim.
Big in every way. Tucker stands 6'6" and Bowe 6'5".
And Tim, they can both punch. Can't blink in a fight like this.
Tucker's only loss to Kimuel Odom, a 9th round stoppage, a fight in which everybody agreed he wasn't in the best of physical shape. He's since come back with a 1-round victory over Marcellus Brown. And Riddick Bowe unbeaten in his 17 professional fights. Minute gone by in round number 1, scheduled for 10.
No puncher, no puncher like that. Come on, right break in the close. Let's go. Step back from him. Step back.
Tucker is bending low, Tim, and he's bringing himself right into Riddick Bowe's punching range. Good right hand by Tucker.
Excellent right hand by Tucker.
And there's that snapping jab that we were talking about.
Eddie Futch says that Bowe's jab is as good as Muhammad Ali's was in his time. That's quite a statement for Eddie Futch to make about his protege, Riddick Bowe. And he feels that his potential is unlimited. He's not saying he's ready for the title shot this year, but he feels that he is definitely going to be a top contender. A minute remaining, round 1.
At the moment, Bowe is a little over-anxious, Tim, reaching in with his punches, and that can be dangerous.
Let him go, let him go.
You heard Bowe predict a knockout of Tucker in his interview with us. Tucker goes down. It was not from a blow. He actually missed a combination and then got his feet tangled up with Bowe.
Yeah, 3rd and 10, Tim. No punches involved.
Under the 30-second mark to go, round 1. Another miss by Tucker.
Tim, at least he's getting them off. And Bowe is not making him pay when he misses up to this point. And Tucker should not stay inside, Tim.
Bowe landed 2 short shots inside the last exchange. Final seconds of round 1. Right landed by Tucker, a left missed by Bowe. Then he lands with a left hook and another left hook and a short right. Action-packed final seconds of round number 1. They were still throwing leather at the bell. Looking into the corner now of Art Tucker. Working with him is trainer Ali Stoltz, a former boxer of some distinction himself. And he has Walter Sykes and Al Gavin, his cut man.
Listen to me. Listen to Uncle Al. He's got a slight cut over your left side.
Riddick Bowe, managed by Rock Newman. Trained by Eddie Futch, as we mentioned earlier. Going back into that exchange right at the bell. Oh, this was just prior to the bell, pardon me, when Tucker went down, getting his feet tangled up. And here's the action just as they came to the final bell. Both fighters landing a couple of good shots. Now live to round number 2. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy at Harrah's in Atlantic City. Tucker in red, Riddick Bowe in white.
Tim, Tucker was a little over anxious. He should be working behind that jab. Instead, he's reaching with that right hand. Both guys have left themselves wide open at times in this fight, Tim. And you see Tucker bending down. He's the big, tall guy. He should be making this guy reach and then try to nail him. Bowe seems to be getting the range.
Bowe been more effective inside when Tucker's given him that opportunity. Now has Tucker pinned in the Bowe corner.
And Tucker is hurt, Tim.
A good left hook.
He's
centering Tucker. Tucker trying to punch his way out of the corner.
Well, he's where he doesn't belong. He shouldn't be inside with the stronger, heavier Riddick Bowe.
Bowe missing the overhand right.
But he was able to tie up Tucker after the miss.
Tucker now again resting on the ropes over there. Dangerous territory. Right to the body, and now Bowe just banging to the open spots in the midsection and ribs of Art Tucker.
You can see Bowe using his strength inside there. He's pushing Tucker with his forearms, keeping Tucker a little off balance inside. Now Tucker just got his hand caught in the ropes. Good left hook by Tucker.
Tucker came off with 2 good shots that landed and lands a right uppercut lead.
Tucker seems to be wearing down a little bit, though, Tim. Looks a little tired, and it's only the second round.
Tucker caught Bowe leaning in. Bowe again bangs to the body. Under a minute we go in round number 2.
I don't know about Bowe, but I know Tucker can't keep this pace up, Tim. No way.
Let him go. All right, break. No punches. Step back.
Tucker should get out and start to move a little bit and snap that jab.
Bowe jabbing, missed with a right, came back with a left. Under 30 seconds we go round 2. And Tucker lands a right hand. Little cut, it appears, at the corner of the left eye of Tucker.
Well, Al Gavin will take care of that, Tim. Good cut, man.
A right to the jaw from Bowe. And Tucker pinned in the corner in a combination by Bowe.
And you can see Bowe outstrengthening him inside, Tim. He's pushing.
So a big round for Riddick Bowe, and they'll have to work on that cut. In the corner of Art Tucker, Al Gavin is cut man.
The cut is high. You're
and
all right.
It looks like it's high on the eyebrow.
Can't let this guy get off the fucking corners. Get out of corners. Tie him up. Get off first.
Where's the water? Where the water? Where the water?
The guy's bullshit. Take
Just below the eyebrow.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
You gotta get off first. You understand? Fucking left hook, right hook.
Let's go back into the second round and see a good left hand from Bowe that really rocked Tucker. That was prior to the cut opening up. It was the best punch of the round.
That was probably the best punch of the fight, Tim. Really wobbled Art Tucker. He got nailed again with that right hand near the end of the round.
Round number 3. Art Tucker in red, Riddick Bowe in white. Scheduled for 10. 2 unranked heavyweights, both hoping an impressive showing here today will launch them into the top 10.
You know, Tim, at the beginning of the fight, Tucker started out with a good snapping jab. Good hook.
Down goes Tucker. Both punchers letting him fly at the same time, but Bowe sending Tucker down.
7, 8. They both threw left hooks, Tim, and Riddick Bowe beat him to the punch.
Tucker up quickly, took the 8 count and is back out there. See whether Bowe can follow up. Bowe getting some free shots now. Tucker finally fires back.
And Tucker has forgot all about boxing, all about the fact that he has a good jab. He's brawling with a brawler.
And his legs look a little shaky here, to say the least.
Very shaky, Tim. Look at Bowe working inside short punches. That's that Eddie Fudge teaching.
Tucker with a minute gone here in the 3rd round.
And now watch, Tucker just has forgot to throw a jab, Tim. Hasn't used the jab at all.
Good right hand sends him down again. 2 knockdowns in this round. Remember, in New Jersey, if he is knocked down 3 times, that's it. He may not get up from this one. Let's see.
9.
Tucker gets to his feet.
You okay?
Tony Orlando asks him how he is. He'll continue.
It's just a matter of time now, though, Tim. Tucker fought the wrong fight after the 1st round.
Now Bowe backs him into the ropes, and they'll stop it. It's all over. Tony Orlando stepping in, saving Tucker from further punishment as he was wobbly on the ropes, and Riddick Bowe has stopped Art Tucker in the 3rd round here in Atlantic City. At 1:18 of the 3rd, and the undefeated Riddick Bowe continues on his path into the top 10. Now standing at 18-0 with 16 KOs. The Olympic silver medalist. And Gil, you referred to his strength in this fight as we see Tucker's cut being attended to by Dr. Frank Doggett. The physical strength, the weight advantage of Bowe seemed to be a factor.
It was the biggest factor in the fight, Tim. And Art Tucker started out the 1st round snapping a jab, throwing some nice right hands, but after the 1st round it became a brawl, and he certainly couldn't brawl with Riddick Bowe. Bowe was too big and strong.
First knockdown in round number 3 scored by Riddick Bowe, and they both exchanged those lefts. And now we'll see the 2nd knockdown was a right to the ear. Down went Tucker, and he was in trouble on the ropes when Tony Orlando stepped in to stop it. And the undefeated Riddick Bowe, with an impressive show here, scores a 3rd round knockout. So now let's take you to our studios in New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, thank you, Tim. We'll be going back to you in just a few moments. Fight fans, stay with us.
In Atlantic City, let's get the official time from Ed Darien.
From the beautiful Broadway by the Bay Theater, here at Harrah's Marina Hotel and Casino, referee Tony Orlando stops this bout at 1 minute and 41 seconds of the 3rd round, and a winner by a TKO, and still undefeated, Riddick Bowe. And let's hear it one more time for Big Art Tucker. Let's hear it.
Well, here's the winner with a 3rd round knockout, Riddick Bowe. And Riddick, I think you have to feel very good about this performance. You predicted a knockout.
In 3 rounds, man, I might add.
You might add, and I knew you would add. But I think you should feel good about it also, because one of the knocks, if you will, of your performances so far is simply that you haven't been in against tough guys as you've started to learn this professional side of your career. But everybody felt that Art Tucker was a good test for you. Did you have the same feeling?
Well, first of all, I have no control over who I fight. Number 2, I was a good fighter, but I'm so much superior.
How superior are you? In other words, at what level should we see Riddick Bowe fighting next?
Well, we'll keep on fighting guys with the same ability as Art. Then after a while, we'll move up a notch again.
All right. Let's go back and look into that first knockdown of the 3rd round here. It looked like both of you unloaded big left hands. You just got there faster.
Yeah, I was trying to set him up with the left hook, but that's the right hand right there.
That's the 2nd knockdown.
Right hand is lethal. I hit him with that small nuclear warhead. He couldn't do nothing but fall.
Well, now, after that 2nd knockdown, you had him in trouble against the ropes, and referee Tony Orlando watching him very closely here. You knew you had him done.
Oh, yeah. Papa Smurf told me to, try to stay close to him, don't throw my right hand, from too far out. But again, I got to go back to the gym and work on that. But I knew it was just a matter of time before I got him.
You better explain to Papa Smurf, as you call him, is Eddie Futch, 78 years young, one of the great trainers in boxing history. And Eddie, you've been making some extravagant comments about your young man, comparing his jab to Muhammad Ali and his potential of that of Larry Holmes.
Well, I firmly believe in these predictions and these comments because he's shown me that he has the two. I saw Larry Holmes when he was beginning, and Bowe, I think, has surpassed Larry Holmes at the like stage of their development.
All right, well, Bowe knows boxing. We know that by now. The point is, how soon is it realistic to see him up there in the heavyweight title picture?
Well, let me answer that.
Oh, you answer
We're not in a rush, but on the other hand, we're not going to waste any time. When the opportunity presents itself and Papa Smurf and my manager, Rock Newman, feel it's on ready, then we'll take on such guys as Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and Buster Douglas.
All right, Riddick, good luck to you. Good show here today. We thank you for a good performance here on Sports Sunday. Riddick Bowe, third-round knockout victory over Art Tucker. Now we've got some more heavyweight action for you upcoming on videotape. Just this past week, another man who's in this very muddled and wide-open heavyweight picture is a man by the name of Alex Stewart. You may recall that he fought a tough fight against Evander Holyfield and suffered his only defeat, but made a lot of friends.